pitch black flames so powerful they can incinerate ordinary fire. Illusions that can trap you in an eternal nightmare that only lasts a few seconds. A giant warrior made of chakra energy. As I mentioned in my last video, the Uchiha dōjutsu are some seriously god-tier moves. But what you might not know is that the Mangekyou Sharingan are inspired by 3 of the most famous members of the Shinto pantheon. Hi friends, I'm Kay, and welcome back to Eat, Pray, Anime, where I explore the religious history behind the magic of Japanese popular culture. This episode is part 2 of a series taking a deep dive into the mythology behind some of the Naruto universe's most powerful jutsu. Today we'll explore the history behind the Mangekyou Sharingan dōjutsu, Amaterasu, Tsukuyomi, and Susanoo. For certain Uchiha clan members, experiencing a traumatic personal loss can take their Sharingan to the next level, called the Mangekyou Sharingan or the Kaleidoscope Copy Wheel Eye. While there are several variations on the Mangekyou techniques, the main 3 are Amaterasu, Tsukuyomi, and Susanoo. Each of these jutsu are inspired by powerful Shinto deities called kami, but Naruto creator Kishimoto Masashi definitely took a lot of creative license with them. So in this episode, we'll learn to separate mythology from manga. Where we last left him, the kami Izanagi was on the run from his deceased wife, Izanami, who he accidentally doomed to spend eternity in Yomi, the shadowy land of the dead. Needless to say, Izanami was pretty pissed. Narrowly escaping Izanami's wrath by using a huge boulder to block the entrance to Yomi, all Izanagi wants is to put all that death and decay behind him and take a shower. This raises one of Shinto's central concerns: purification of pollution. According to Shinto mythology, Kegare, or pollution, sticks to us through contact with certain unclean things, such as death, blood, and disease. Kegare isn't really the same thing as the concept of sin. It's simply a natural consequence of living in the world. But just because Kegare is a fact of life doesn't mean that it and our actions have no consequences. For one thing, there's a concept called tsumi, according to which improper actions are also polluting. And when all that pollution piles up, it can not only hurt the individual, but the community as a whole. So for that reason, it's important to reflect on your actions and purify yourself through misogi, or ritual ablutions. Nani? That sound means we discovered our religious studies word of the day, ablution. Ablution means to cleanse something or someone using liquid, most often water, in order to purify it. Ablution can be as simple as washing your hands and mouth when you visit a Shinto shrine, or as hardcore as standing under a freezing cold waterfall. So what do pollution, purification, and ablution, or misogi, have to do with Naruto? Well, Izanagi was the first to perform misogi by purifying himself of the pollution of death in a river. In the Kojiki version of events, because there are several different versions, Izanagi creates various kami while purifying himself, but there's 3 children that he's especially proud of. When he washes his left eye, the sun goddess Amaterasu is born, and from his right eye is born the moon god Tsukuyomi. Finally, he washes his nose, giving birth to the ocean and storm god Susanoo. Izanagi claims that these new kami are his 3 noble children and charges Amaterasu to rule the heavens, Tsukuyomi the realm of night, and Susanoo the oceans. Returning to the Mangekyou Sharingan, it now makes sense why Amaterasu is housed in one eye and Tsukuyomi in the other, because they are both born from Izanagi's eyes. The Amaterasu dōjutsu is said to represent the material world and light, and Tsukuyomi the spiritual world or darkness. In Shinto, there's an idea that there's one world, but 2 overlapping realms or parallel dimensions. Kenkai, the material realm that we know, and Yukai, the dark or invisible spirit realm. Some myths say that Tsukuyomi is the ruler of this realm, while others say that it's the former ruler of the earthly kami, or Kuninushi. Since Amaterasu is a sun goddess, it makes a certain amount of sense that the dōjutsu named after her produces powerful flames that supposedly burn as hot as the sun itself. However, I find it pretty strange that the flames are black and are also described as the fires of hell, since Amaterasu is a heavenly kami born out of the ultimate act of purification. The only historical reason I can think of for why the flames are dark comes from the story of Amaterasu and the Cave of Heaven. Here's the short version. Amaterasu gets into a feud with her annoying brother Susanoo, and eventually she gets so upset she runs away to hide in a cave. Because Amaterasu is the sun herself, the world is plunged into darkness, withering crops and releasing all sorts of demons to terrorize people. a group of kami come together and try all sorts of tricks to convince Amaterasu to bring back the sun. Does this myth about light and darkness explain why the Amaterasu dōjutsu's flames are black? No, but I have to admit that black flames look pretty badass, and that's one of the main reasons we watch Naruto, right? Tsukuyomi doesn't get a lot of screen time in the Kojiki and Nihon Shoki, so I was really excited to see that they had an equally boss dōjutsu named after them, and one that's appropriate since it deals with illusion and time. One reading of the kanji in Tsukuyomi's name is Tsuki, moon or month, and Yomu, counting or reading. Because the original Japanese calendar is lunar, it makes sense to associate Tsukuyomi with the passage of time. And because they are associated with the night and the spirit world, Tsukuyomi can create an illusory dream world in which time passes much more quickly than in the real or material world. Of course, this is also why infinite Tsukuyomi must be reflected off of the full moon. One of the most memorable uses of Tsukuyomi takes place in the novel Itachi Shinden Midnight, when Itachi uses this ultimate genjutsu to give Izumi Uchiha a kind death by allowing her to live a happy lifetime in a matter of moments, after which her body dies when her dream self passes away from old age. Susanoo is a really complicated figure in Japanese mythology. Basically, there's 4 Susanoos: Amaterasu's cranky brother, a monster-hunting, world-conquering hero, and a deity associated with the land and agriculture, as well as a manifestation of the Buddha. The version we see in Naruto is the second type, the mighty warrior. According to this mythical narrative, Susanoo is banished from heaven by Amaterasu and starts a new life in the Izumo region of Honshu, Japan's largest island. He meets a nice elderly couple who tell him that a terrible 8-headed serpent, Yamata no Orochi, has eaten 7 of their daughters, and they fear for the life of their 8th and last remaining daughter. Susanoo agrees to help them and gets the monster drunk on sake and defeats it. He gets the girl, as well as a cool new sword, which he gives to Amaterasu as an apology for all of his earlier shenanigans. Just like the kami Susanoo, the Mangekyou Sharingan technique named after him takes many forms as an avatar made of pure chakra energy and is effective for defense as well as offense. The first form it takes is a simple skeleton. Is it just me, or does this form look more like the giant skeleton yokai or supernatural creature Gashadokuro? Anyways, Susanoo steadily grows larger and more powerful according to the skill of the wielder, gaining muscles, limbs, armor, and even wings. Only the most powerful Mangekyou Sharingan wielders who have unlocked eternal Mangekyou Sharingan are able to form a perfect or complete body Susanoo. You might be wondering why this Susanoo has a crazy long nose. It's actually not because Susanoo was born from Izanagi's nose, and thankfully the dōjutsu isn't a nose dōjutsu. We're going to pretend nose dripping jutsu never happened, okay? According to yet another mythical text, the Kujiki, not to be confused with the Kojiki, Susanoo bottled up his violent or ferocious spirit called Aramitama until he couldn't hold it in any longer, and he vomited out the monstrous goddess Amanozako. This kami is said to be the mother of all yokai or supernatural creatures, particularly the bird-like spirit called a Tengu. Tengu have been depicted with beaks as well as human faces with comically long noses. Originally, Tengu were considered to be demons and harbingers of war, but over time, they also came to be recognized as fierce warriors and protectors. So when Susanoo reaches his final form, he takes on the appearance of the Tengu he helped spawn, including a long nose and wings, and he wears full armor and wields an impressive sword. There you have it. The Mangekyou Sharingan are inspired by 3 of the most famous kami from Japanese myth: Amaterasu, Tsukuyomi, and Susanoo. Kishimoto made some creative decisions that don't quite jive with these kami's traditional representation, but it's that kind of innovation that makes religious themes and imagery and Japanese popular culture so fascinating. Tell me what you find most interesting about the Mangekyou Sharingan down in the comments below. Thanks for joining me here on Eat, Pray, Anime. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content, and check out my other videos. If you missed part 1 of my Naruto series, you can check it out right now over here. Finally, I want to give a shout out to Eat, Pray, Anime's first ever Patreon patron, Andrew Reitemeyer. Truly, you are a gentleman and a scholar. If you'd like access to exclusive content and deep conversations with me and your fellow anime fans, or you want to have a real impact on the future of this channel, please join our Patreon community for as little as $1 a month. I promise you will find it even more stimulating than a cup of coffee, and it means the world to me to have your support as I grow this channel into the place to find quality scholarly takes on our favorite Japanese media. Until next time, let's all eat, pray, and as always, watch anime.